So this is us starting recording our session. So this is part of looking at correcting the homeworks that was left last week. Okay, so basically in this first homework, we've been asked to find the equation of a straight line and to give the straight line in the form y equal mx plus c, m being the gradient and c is what we've called the y-intercept. So basically it's called the y-intercept because it's where the line cuts the y-axis, and as you can see, where the line cuts the y-axis, we've not moved laterally around the x-axis. It just means x equals 0. And if x equals 0, 0 times m is 0, then y equals c. And that's why it's called the y-intercept. Okay. So now that we have a line given to us, what we could do is we can either give the gradient based on what we see here on the screen, being how much step we have on the vertical line versus how much step we have on the horizontal line. So I can see here from this point to this point, I'm going 2 up. So that would be the vertical change against 3 along. So 2 divided by 3 would be my gradient, for example. So we can find it that way if we can't remember any of the formula, or we can just use the formula that we've been given, where it tells us that m is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So now we need to identify a couple of points in order to extract x1 and x2, y1 and y2. So the points I'm going to pick here are the points 0 and -2. So we can pick that point. And the other point would be point 3 in x here when y equals 0, 3 and 0. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one we're going to pick as x1, y1, and x2, y2. So ideally, I would pick, usually people would pick, for example, from the left to right. They might say, okay, this is going to be x1, y1. So I've seen that picked. Sometimes I'll look which one is positive, which one is negative, but we're going to pick x1, y1, x2, y2. So x2, y2. So y2 minus y1. So that means 0 minus minus 2, which becomes 0 plus 2. So 2 divided by x2 minus x1, 3. So you can see that we could have found the exact same answer by using the formula m equal y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And for the point C, which is our y-intercept, we can just identify here when x equals 0, c equal -2. Okay, so the first one would be c equal -2 and m equal 2/3 by picking these 2 points. Okay. So that would be the first one. For the second one, you just do something quite similar. So once again, you pick up a couple of points. So here I've got the point 5 in x.
5, 5.
5, 5, yeah. So you can pick that point there. 5, 5.
0, 2.
And 0 in x, yeah. 0 and 2. So 0 in x and 2 in y. So straight away, I can see what my y-intercept is going to be. The c here, it's just going to be 2, because when x equals 0, y equal 0 times m plus. And then for my gradient, I can see I'm going 3 up, 5 along. I've got a positive gradient, then I can see straight away it should be 3 over 5. But if you want to do it using y2 minus y1, so 5 minus 2 is 3, divided by 5 divided by minus 0, so 3 over 5. Okay, so basically we can define now in the form y equal mx plus c for these two examples, y equal 2/3 of x minus 2. And that would give us the last mark. So basically in math, you try to get as many marks as you can by just answering the question asked. So they've asked us, write the equation of the following lines in this form, y equal mx plus c, y equal here 2/3 of x minus 2. For this case, I've got y equal 3/5, 3 over 5, x plus the y-intercept, which is 2. Okay, so that's how you would process with these two lines. In the next ones, so as you can see, the first two examples, they were both going up in the right direction. So both of my slopes had positive gradients. In the next one, I can see that both are coming down the way. So I expect my gradient straight away to be negative using this exact same techniques that I was doing earlier on. So I can see I've got 2 divided by 6, which is just 1 divided by 3. So negative 1 over 3 for this gradient. Y-intercept here at minus 1. That would be my C. Y-intercept 1 here. And again, I'm going 4
2.
over 2, yeah. So 4 over 2, which is negative 2, because it's a negative slope. So negative 4 over 2, which is just negative 2. Let's check it. So minus 1 over 3, minus 1. The other one, minus 5 over 2. Why did I get negative 5? So it's going, yeah, so basically, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we take that point to this point, so you're going 5 up, 2 along, or 2 along, 5 down. So that's negative 5 over 2. So I'm not sure why I said 4 over 2 the
I would
first
just
time.
pick 2. I would just pick the y-intercept as 1 point and then just anywhere that, like that one there. I thought it was 2. Is it 2 over minus 4?
So basically you go from,
XY?
yeah, you pick a point and you
Yeah.
look, if you go 2 along here,
To
that
make that
be your horizontal, and then
vertical's 5.
to touch the line, yeah, you've got 5 down, so it's negative 5 over 2. But to be on the safe side, you can just write m equal, so picking those 2 points, so y2, 1 minus minus 4, which is 5, yeah, 1 minus minus 4 is going to be your 5. Just probably safer to do it that way, if you remember. Then 0 minus 2. Yeah, pick 2 points. I think you've got less chance to make a mistake.
5 over.
Okay, and that is minus 5 over 2. And once again, I've given you the answers for C and M, but ideally you would write y equal negative 1 over 3 x minus 1. For this one, And for the other one, you would just write y equal negative 5/2. So both are negative, the slopes, +1 this time. Okay. So let's see, that was the first homework that we were looking at. This one, I think we completed together last week.
I
And
found
then
that in the book. It was also a past paper as well.
Yeah.
Or
So
something similar.
this is, yeah, they do use, yeah, whenever you've got a taxi fare, is a common one because it is into context. It is something that you may be confronted with.
Sort of past paper. I can't remember which paper it was, but
yeah, I think I remember seeing something to do with a cost based on a mileage or something. So on the next one here, what I've put together is you had a problem where they're asking us to find the equation connecting degrees Celsius. So we were given a temperature in degrees Celsius, and we were asked to convert it into Fahrenheit, which is the American way probably of giving you the temperature. So there is a line, the equation of a line that we can extract from it. Okay, so what they've done is they've given us a few points, 0, 32, 5, 41, and they've asked us to find the value of P and Q. Again, so what they're asking us to do here is to find the intercept, Q, and the gradient, P. So a couple of ways of getting those, so that you could, if you wanted to draw the line by just getting a couple of points and draw the line, that's one way of doing it. The other way is to pick 2 points. So let's say if we pick 0, 32, and let me see which point I've picked. Yeah, and 10 and 50, for example. Okay, so if you pick those 2 points, you can say, okay, my gradient that I used to call y equal mx plus c, if you look at now what we have, is they've replaced m with p. Okay, so m is represented by p this time. What we used to call y is what they call f. So if you prefer working with y equal mx plus c, you are entitled to do that, as long as you write down exactly. So mx plus c, so c, small c this time, is going to be equal to q. Okay, so the first thing is m, which is our p. We're going to say y2 minus y1. So you can pick, this is your x2, y2, remember? And then x1, these are my points basically. y1. So y2 minus y1 is 50 minus 32. Yeah? So 50 minus 32, which is 18, divided by 10 minus 0. So 18 divided by 10, and that is just 1.8, yeah? If you want, you can say, okay, I'm going to put 1.8 or 9/5 if you wanted to.
Yeah, cool.
It's up to you. You can write it as a fraction if you like to, or you can make it even. Okay. Yeah. Is that 9/2? No.
I got 9/5.
Over 5, yes, sorry. Yeah, 9/5, 1.8, or 1/4 if you wanted to. But in any way, You found P, and the next one is to find Q. So for Q, we said it's the y-intercept, and the y-intercept happened when x equals 0. So if you remember well, if we had a line, and we've got a line crossing 0, 32, for example, then when x equals 0, we have our y-intercept. That would be what we used to call C. So Q, for our case here, is just identified as the y-intercept, which is 32. So now we've got the value of P and the value of Q. Q equals 32 and P equal 1.8. Okay. So in this case here, instead of using those 2 points, I had used these 2 points. So P and Q found. Now the second question is going to ask us now to use our newfound equation. On a particularly hot summer days in Scotland, the temperature is 30 degrees, quite rare, but it happens. An American tourist asks if you know how hot it is, how would you reply? So you would just say, okay, if the temperature in degrees C is 30, we just found that F in Fahrenheit is 1.8, the temperature in degrees C,
P.
plus our Q32. So what's 1.8 times 30 plus 32? So you would calculate that and you would get the answer of, let me remove that.
Next. 1.8 times 32.
So 1.8 times 30 plus 32 would be 86. Okay. Should be 86 if you've done your calculation properly. Yeah, 86, the temperature in Fahrenheit. So now the last question is, the lowest ever recorded temperature on the surface of the Earth was minus 128.6 Fahrenheit. So that's this temperature here. What would this be in degrees Celsius? So this time we know F, and they're asking us to find C. So this is where you would set it as an equation, and you need to solve this equation. Minus 128.6 equal 1.8 C, which is what we're looking for, plus 32. So to solve this, the first thing you would do, you would take away 32 on each side. So you would just say, I'm taking 32 away from that side, and you need to take it away from that side. And remember, a negative, add on a negative makes your number even bigger negatively. So you add those two numbers, 128.6 plus 32, which is 160.6. So you end up with negative 160.6 equal 1.8 C. Now your next things to do is you've got 1.8 times C. To get rid of that 1.8 time, you do the inverse of timing, which is you divide by 1.8 each side. So your answer divided by 1.8, and that should give you your temperature.
89.2.
So is it 89.2 or negative 89.2?
Negative 89.2 because
yeah, plus look at the question. If the lowest ever recorded temperature is not a negative temperature, then you should ask yourself that question. Surely, if it snows sometime, we've got negative temperature. So nearly negative 90 is the coldest. Okay. Okay, so that's how you would answer this question. C. Let me see if I've got that. C equal negative 128, which is negative 89. So if you give it with two significant figures, you can just stop at negative 89. Yeah, degree C. Okay. So that was the question for this. We've looked at the next set. We went through all these. I'm just trying to go through what we did last time. So we look at a few examples. I'm not too sure if we had any homework on this. Yeah, homework 2. Find the equation of the straight line passing through the following pair of points and express your answer in the form y minus b equal mx minus a. So this was just practice. As long as you identify x1, y1 and x2, y2. And remember, we said you can express the straight line as y equal mx plus c or y minus b equal mx minus a. So that would be the second way of expressing it. So for the first one, we did that together. The next one, if I choose, so for m, again, y2, 11 minus 2 divided by 4 minus 1, which is just 9 over 5. And you just change. Now you pick A and B. So this time I've picked B for this value, 2, and then A is going to be negative 1. And this is expressed exactly like they've asked me, y minus b equal mx minus a. And you can do the same for the next one with a gradient of 2 this time. For D, you would get a gradient of 2 again.
Sorry, can I interrupt? See with B,
Yep.
did you, it's obviously with your final answer, it was y minus 2, 2 being A or B, one of your points. It was a plus 1. Did you bring, and it was a negative 1 in the coordinates. Did you just bring that into a plus 1? There,
So,
is that
yeah,
easy?
because remember, it's x minus a.
Okay.
So it's minus 1.
Minus,
and that's
minus,
why, yeah. So the minus 1 just becomes plus 1.
okay.
But you write A is minus 1.
But it's written as a positive because you get 2 negatives.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. We could have had minus 1 like this.
Then
But to simplify or to tidy it up, the x minus 1 at Nat5, you expect to write it as x plus 1.
Yeah, it's essentially 1 or negative 1, sorry. And you're just
a negative. It's a bit like you've got a silent 1 after that minus. So it's minus 1 time minus 1. And minus 1 time minus 1 is just plus 1.
Okay.
And the same happened here for 5. I've picked that point. Whereas for D, if you'll get x minus 3. For E, you get x minus 9. And for F, it's going to be an x plus 8. Okay. But yeah, they expect you to write it, when they ask you to write it in this format, now you know that B here is negative 4, whereas A is 3. Okay.
No worries.
Yeah. So it's in its simplest form, basically. In this exercise, yeah, so this was another problem to solve. Let me see. Yeah, so basically you've been asked to find the weight as a function of the height. So you expect it to work as the weight will increase as you are taller. Yeah. So using the information above, express W in terms of H. So basically, we're going to express that by using points. So this time I've got the weight is in kilograms. So that's, if you were to express that as X and Y, the points I'm going to use is 71 kilograms and 70 inches. So 70 and 71 is my first point. And the next point I'm going to use is 80 inches for X. And for coordinate Y, you weigh 90 kilograms. So I've got 2 points. I've been asked now to write this as W equal F of H. So, for example, W equal MH plus C. That's one way of doing it. Okay, so 70 inch, 71, 80, 90. So the first thing we calculate is the gradient. So 90 take away 71 divided by 80 take away 70. So that's easy. That's 10 at the bottom. And you've got 19 at the top. So 19 divided by 10 is just 1.9. The next thing is, what you could do is, instead of writing it as W equal MH plus C, you can pick a point and we can write it as W minus A equal M H minus B, the same way we used to do X minus B and Y, sorry, W minus B, H minus A, the same way we were doing Y minus B, so to do it that way, you would pick a point. So this is A and this is B. So X minus A is going to be my H minus 70, and W minus B is just going to be W minus 71. And after that, what you need to do is you need to rewrite that as 1.9 H 1.9 H time minus 1.9 times 70 plus 71, because we add 71 on both sides. And finally, we get the answer W equal 1.9 H minus 62. So now the question we've been asked for B is, this formula is only used for men who are over 50 inches. Explain why. So we need to understand why this formula, this straight line, 1.9H minus 62, can only be used, okay, for men who are a certain height. So why would that be the case? So we need to try and understand if, for example, someone is less than 50 inch, what would happen to the weight if you use this formula? So you can try 49 in height. So what happens if you do 49 times 1.9 minus 62? What do you get as an answer?
$60.4.
So
sorry, I've done it by 1.6.
So 49 times 1.9
51.1
minus 62 is giving me 31.9.
Yeah, I got the same.
Okay, so let's see. So below 32.6, if you were lower than 32.6, what you will find is, basically, when do you get this weight equal to 0? when 1.9h, yeah, equals 62. So what happens if you get 1.9h equals 62? What's 62 divided by 1.9? If you do 62 divided by 1.9, what answer do we get?
22.63157.
Yeah. So basically, if you shorter than 32.6 inch, your weight start to become negative, which is not possible. And that's how you would answer your question, basically. So you look at what is possible with this. So you can tell that this line that you could use would only work for a certain height because it's impossible to have a negative weight. Okay? And that's how you would answer this question. You would try to see at what point this will become zero and explain why the formula can't be used for men who are particularly short, because you would get a negative weight, which is impossible. Okay, so now they've told us this basically is only used for men above 50 inches. So people that are a certain, so we noticed that 49 or 50 times 1.9 minus 62 is given us 33 kilo. So anyone less than 50 inch would not work because you get 33 kilogram. That's their threshold, basically. Okay, so that's how you would answer this question. Make sure you always get a positive weight. Okay, and then I think we did this one together. So I'm not sure we went through this higher form. Yeah, we looked at y minus b equal mx minus a. So we looked at this and we came up with a few. And this is the bit general equation. Okay, so today we're going to start from here. So let me pause the recording. So I was just recording